Hey YouTube! So I'm back with another Baddies review. So we're on season 3, episode 9, A Bad Supper. And the description Zeuscape for this one was, the baddies come together for a dinner they won't soon forget. So the episode picks up with Tommy yelling about how she performs, she does floor stuff, she's also a host, and that's more than all the other girls do. And Kat's like, okay, but we're talking about hosting. Lola's performing too. And she was like, we get paid to host, like, period. Like, that's it, point blank. They bring up how the girls aren't getting their regular booking rates. So what are we talking about? And I think Kat's right. If they aren't being booked by their actual booking rates, then split what they're getting evenly. Split it equally. Because, and Scotty agrees with that. And Scotty says the flyers need to change if they're getting paid differently. And they do. If some of the girls are hosting and the other girls are, if some of the girls are getting paid to host and the other girls are getting paid to perform, put that on the flyer. Say, okay, baddies, performances by da 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 da, hosted by da 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 da. Don't have that it's hosted by all the girls and that's it. You're not putting special performances by, you're not putting da 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 da. So you can't just up and decide that the girls should get paid something different. Tommy starts saying, like, once y'all sweat and do labor, you'll deserve what I get paid. And then they go to Razor and ask her how she feels about it. Razor says performers should get paid a decent percentage. She doesn't necessarily say, oh, they should get paid more, but like she does mean the performers. She thinks the performers should get paid more. And Razor is actually one of the only few people who's looked at as just a host that says the performers should get paid more. Scott says it depends on the booking, which I agree with, but she said the rate needs to go up if they're splitting it like that. And she's correct. They need to, 20,000 for 11 girls is still crazy to me. And I honestly feel like they got booked for more than that, and Natalie's just keeping a majority of the bag. And they get to Sky. Sky says it depends on the booking, but the rate should go up, and they should distribute in a way that makes sense for everyone. And I agree with that. So Natalie's like, okay, we need to decide how we're going to split it. So for Vegas, the performer's going to get paid more. So she's like, 2,500 is for performers, 1,200 is for the host. So Natalie obviously thinks the performer should get paid more. And I was just sitting there like, well, maybe the other girls should get your 1,200 because I know on top of what you did and tell them y'all got paid, you also still taking your little 1,200 for hosting. Like, don't do that. Again, why the EP should not be on the show. So Lo is like, I ain't used to get paid like this. Like, why am I here? She's like, $1,200. She's like, my hair cost that. And then she was like, and that don't include $200 to get my makeup done. That don't include the $500 for nails. She's like, that's crumbs to me. Like, that's crumbs. I'm not with it. It's not worth it. And Rolly calls them big head. Rolly's like, they're getting big headed. And I disagree with that. Like, those girls are experienced hosts. So they know, they have their rate. They get paid their rate when they go out. They know what they should be making. They're not getting a big head. If Rolly makes makes 2,500 for her bookings and her performances, she's lowballing herself, and that's really just up with her. But I calculated that those girls, they made $400 a day for those 3 days they worked. They made $400. I make $304 a day. They're getting paid crumbs. I don't know what to tell you. I make that, and I have benefits. They don't even have that. So like, what am I supposed to tell you? And then Razor's like, if Krishana gonna be here, why I gotta be here? And I agree with that. Like, if it's not mandatory for Krishana to be there, she's part of the cast. If it's not mandatory for her to be there, why does the other cast feel like they have to be there? And like, that's not fair. I can't remember. Yeah. Krishana actually had like a little court thing, so I do understand that. But any other time she don't show up, I'm gonna be on her ass. I'm not gonna lie to you. So then Nat's like, don't say we didn't get the bag this season, which they still didn't get a bag this season. And I mean, they did. They got one on camera, but it wasn't the bag that Natalie said the bag was. So then they show Stunna, and she looks a little hungover, but they just keep going or whatever. So the girls walk onto the bus, and they're on the way to Club Monarch. Kat's like, let's go. I really liked Kat in this moment. She's like talking more. She's really like making her presence known, and I've been enjoying her. The more speaking time that she's had, the more like screen time she's had. Before I was really skeptical because I was like, she's not adding anything to the show. And honestly, I feel like she's gonna have like a lot of like quotables, and she's just really like the rational one. I still feel like she's a secret producer. I feel like Zeus is. I need to actually look at the credits, but I feel like I'm gonna see her name. I'm gonna check. But Sky's like, yeah, Club Monarch, like, it's up, let's go. I've DJ'd there before. Natalie's like, yeah, the promoters just called me. The line is 3 blocks around the building. And Lo's like, yeah, for that exact reason, that's why we need to be getting paid more. And Nat's like, well, we're getting the whole door. So I Googled it, and the club is actually called Monarch Theater. And I'm assuming, because I know like most clubs, it's $20 to get in. So I'm assuming if it's $20 to get in, and maybe like 500 to 700 people show up. I don't know. I tried to find the capacity and I couldn't find it. So that's around $10,000 to $14,000. So that would be them splitting that for one night between 11 girls. That's very different from them splitting a whole 20,000, like 20,000 over 3 days between 11 girls. But that's still not a lot. And then I did some more Googling, and I said that if you do these mega clubs, usually the door brings in about 25,000 to 60,000. So that made a little more sense to me. So I'm assuming they got maybe anywhere between like 25 to like 30,000 from the door, which isn't bad for one night. That's not bad for one night. So the girls get off the bus, they go into the club, and Krishan's supposed to meet them there. Sky's super happy that everything's pre-set up, and she says that's how everything runs smoothly when everything's set up. She's like, yes, like we're on go for tonight. So Natalie starts introducing everybody. Biggie does her little big dude like thing, like her little biggie like big dude like thing, and like then she goes to Scotty. She does a cute little turn, like Scotty with the body, like she does her little turn. Razor gives a little shake and a little booty grab rub. You know the when they be grabbing they cup the under cheek and they start doing a little shake. Razor did that. It looked very good, very good. Tommy looked really uncomfortable when Natalie introduced her. It was really funny. Sky was just like, she was looking like it is what it is. Lo looked hot as fuck. I have like nothing better to say than like she just looked hot as fuck. She gave hella energy. She did her little dip and then her little princess wave. I was here for it. I don't know if I ever like say good things about Lo, but I like Lo. I don't think I talked about her a lot. So Krishan walks in with Blue. He's like being really salty and he's trying to steal her shine. It was very like weirdo behavior. The whole club, including the baddies, start singing Vibe all the time. Rock does her little dancey dance. She's like super funny in the confessionals. And when she's sitting in there, it's like her mood is like, this is pointless, but I'm going to answer what y'all need me to answer. And it's just I don't know. I enjoy watching it though. So then Biggie starts acting like the promoter that she is. She's commanding the crowd. She does really well. Girls are actually just like all up in the crowd, interacting with everybody, which I think is pretty cool. I don't see that a lot at clubs. But these girls are like up in the crowds. Like they have their asses on these girls' heads. Like it's very wild. There's a twerk contest, which is very much my vibe. And like I was like, okay, I do like that. So they cut to Rolly's performance. There's not a lot of stage space. And I noticed that during my second watch through. I was like, there's not a lot of stage space. Like somebody literally fell off the stage. I couldn't see who it was. And then Tommy leans over and punches somebody. They keep calling it a slap. And that was a punch. Like she punched that girl. That was not a slap. I saw a punch. Tell me what y'all saw. The girl falls off the stage and then Biggie gets back on the stage. And although everybody is like pretty much like, okay, violence is not the answer. Don't fight in public. They do agree with Tommy. Rolly's like, that girl didn't deserve to get slapped, but yeah, give people their personal space. And I feel like it's the equivalent of when somebody's performing and people try to grab like performers' genitalia. Like, why are you all up in that person's space? They're literally doing a job and you're interrupting that, and they have to like look comfortable during all of that. They have to act like everything is okay when like sometimes stuff just isn't sweet. I don't know. I don't fault Tommy for that, and I usually disagree with Tommy. The performance continues. Rock does her thing. Tommy does her special performance. Blue gets on stage with Rock, and I was just like, who invited you? You gonna split the bag with the girls too? Because now we split 20,000 between 12 people, and I don't think people are gonna be happy about that. Sky's equipment stops working, and Razor's like super drunk off Casamigos, and Natalie's like, I'll find your purse. We'll buy you a new one. I got the bag. And Tommy decides to just go a cappella since Sky's equipment stopped working. Sky looked hella stressed, but everything got fixed pretty quickly. Club is over. We're back at the house. They cut to Natalie, Tommy, and Rolly sitting down the next morning, and they recap what happened at the club. Tommy's like, yeah, it was hella lit. I crowd surfed. And then Rolly's like, and slapped somebody. And Tommy's just like, somebody was grabbing on my ankles, and I felt like I was about to fall on my face. So I had to do what I had to do, but I wish I could apologize to her. They're talking about how Sky left her equipment, which was bad, but otherwise everything went pretty smoothly. And then they cut to Biggie and Kat sitting down at the table having breakfast. Lo and Razor walk in, enjoying Biggie and Kat having breakfast. And honestly, Razor looks like even younger. Okay, at first I was like without makeup, but then I realized she had like a no makeup look. But she looks so young without like a full face of glam. She like I would think that she was in her 20s, and she's just really naturally gorgeous. I was like barefaced, but it's not barefaced, but she looked great. Um, they start talking about what happened the night before. Lo is like, everything is unorganized again. This is exactly why everybody should get paid the same. I love how Lo will not let the money thing go. And I hope that that comes back around later. That like all the girls end up getting paid the same. Um, but she was like, if y'all can get it together, you don't need a cut of my money. And Biggie was like, no, the equipment was trash. It's not her fault. And Lo is like, at the end of the day, Natalie asked Sky where was her equipment. Sky said she had a laptop and that would do. So she's like, I'm not taking no more excuses. I'm ready to fire you at this point. I can DJ, I can perform, and I can host. So I can get the bag for all three. I feel like Natalie got mad about Lo and Sky performing because she'd already had it made up that the performers were getting paid more. So she probably was like, fuck, well now I gotta split the performing bag with them too, and didn't want to do that. So they cut to Krishan and Stunna, and they're having a talk about the girls, and they're like, the talk is about how the girls talk. It's just very boring. It was very much like a, I don't want to be like it's a 22-year-old conversation. It's very much like a 12-year-old conversation to me. And that's coming from a 23-year-old. It was just like, it just gave high school. It was just very useless. The scene was just useless. And Stunna starts being like, Krishan really understands where I'm coming from, of course, because y'all are children. And then she's like, she went through this last season. So then Krishan tells Stunna how Tommy had a fan last night, and she disagreed with that and called her out on it. And then Stunna calls them on hypocrites for fighting in public, and she says they contradict themselves. But I thought it was a little different because when they were like, don't fight in public, they meant don't fight each other. Also, don't fight the fans, like definitely. But Stunna would have done the same thing if the girl did to her what she did to Tommy. But she was like, why she put her hands on supporters? No one knows your songs. Which is really funny because I saw in the Zeus comments that people were like, we do know Tommy's songs. So to hear Stunna be like, we're at the shows, everybody knows your songs, that's very funny. Then Krishan was like, Stunna, your hero hair is so pretty. She was like fucking lying. Like that shit is burnt. It's heat damage to the max. And Stunna's like, thank you. I'm Black, Mexican, and Samoan. And I was like, girl, you just ghetto to me. The girls are getting ready for dinner. And then Krishan and Sky are laughing together. They look like they're having a really nice time. Sky's finally doing her job. Razor looks really cute. Lo looks the fuck good. Scotty's hoping for a really professional good time. And everybody pretty much just wants to enjoy their food. I love seeing people eat. I wish that Baddies would show more scenes of them eating. I think when people are fed, they won't fight. That's kind of where I sit with that. I just don't know why they don't put more of that out there. I would love to see more dinners, more lunches, like a little breakfast, you know, a little something. But Natalie's like, the dinner, everybody should be all right at dinner. The girls get on the bus to go to Mama Pordia's. Natalie says they're about to have drinks, have something to eat, talk about a few things. Everybody's on camera except Stunna because she's up front by herself. And then Biggie starts calling her a yuck mouth. She's like, are you really about to go to dinner in stripper gear? Like, who does that? And Krishan's basically like, Biggie, like, we not on anything. Like, what's going on, girl? Why are you still having the same energy? And Lo and the other girls just feel like Biggie's dragging the Stunna beef. Lo's basically like, I'm not trying to be banned from flying. I can't. She was like, I don't want it to be that I can't get into no like nightlife stuff. Like, I'm done with it. So then they cut to Kat, and Kat's like, okay. She's like, Tommy, I want to address. She was like Tommy, but not Tommy. It was like for whoever really. But she was like, I want to address what happened with you slapping that girl. She was like, I don't play by my safety. So Tommy starts interjecting. She's like, let me finish. Give me my respect. And she's like, at the end of the day, we're all going to these cities as a unit. I respect you, so respect me. We don't know who that girl is. We don't know who she knows. She's like, at the end of the day, there's gangs out here. There's crazy guys. There's crazy girls. Like, I don't want to be a moving target. We have this big baddie sign on the side of our bus. Like, I don't need a moving target. She was like, y'all want to scrap in private? That's fine. We can do that. We can do it at the house. We can make it happen. But She was like, I got a family that I got to get home to. And she's like, these people get busy out here. Tommy's like, I don't care about none of that. But if that happened, like, I don't feel no type of way. It's going to be up whenever. Like, I stay ready. So, but I can understand her feeling like that because that's not something she's used to. And also, like, yeah, Because for me, and I think for Tommy too, it's like, okay, if she pull up to a city with a bunch of people, like, I'ma handle my business. And Kat probably just don't feel that way, and it's fine. I mean, they both have a right to feel how they feel. But then Kat starts making points, and she's like, but aside from that, like, it's not just about you. Like, the stage could have had more security. We could have done this. We could have done that. And I was like, yes, yes, somebody is speaking irrationally. I think the problem with the women is they don't listen. Like, they talk to hear themselves speak, and they listen to people. They don't listen to people. They like hear them so they can plan out their reply. I think if they had just let Kat speak from the beginning and say everything she had to say, Tommy would have never interjected and like would have known, like, okay, this like has nothing to do with me. Like, things just could have been organized better as a whole. But it ended with everybody being like they loved how Kat and Tommy handled that, and they felt like sisters. And it was just very grown woman of them. So they get to the restaurant. The aesthetic is super amazing. Rolly's like, I'm not here to sign autographs. I ain't here to take down pictures. I just want to eat this food. Stunna's already at the table eating chips and dip. And she's like, it's the Stunna show. You know what's going on. Krishan starts addressing the Stunna stuff with everybody. And Biggie is back again. And she's like, you got on a whole stripper fit at dinner. You look disgusting. I want no parts. And like, it looked cheap. So I saw someone, and they were like, Stunna and Tommy basically on the same thing. They didn't. Tommy's looked expensive. I don't know. It's not even like the money thing. Like, it looked like being on the beach in a bikini versus being in lingerie. And Stunna looked like the one in like lingerie. It looked like it was like Pretty Little Thing or like Mad Rag or Shein or like some rainbow type stuff. And Tommy's looked like it was like Gucci. I don't know. That's basically it. I'm not even like a big capitalist. I'm not a capitalist, so that's just what it was. So Stunna starts being like, they don't have no respect. They try to tell people what to do, and then the next day they do the same stuff. And she's just like, y'all are aggressive. Like, don't do that. She's like, I respect everybody. And Biggie is me like, bitch, fuck her. So she's like, and Stunna's like, you talking about his squash, but you still starting stuff. And Kat's just like, here we go again. I would really, honestly, I would have a lot of respect for Stunna if she had better comebacks than you're fat. Like, she can't read, and unless she can read and they're just cutting it out. But like, the only thing that she can come back with is you're fat, you're ugly. What else? Make her cry. Make Biggie cry. Like, Biggie be getting under your skin, get on her skin. Because, like, by you calling her fat is not getting under her skin. Like, say something else. So then Razor is like, I was very, verbatim, Razor said, I was very calm and collective. Like, girl, get your words together. At first, it was construction criticism. But she was like, I was very calm and collective because, one, you see what I got on. And then she was like, and two, we already fought in the PJ, and I'm not about to fight in a public restaurant. Like, no. And then Biggie's like, y'all not gonna let me speak, so I don't really care what y'all gotta say. Stunna, you a hater. It's Aggie, and it's tiring. So then Krishan is like, okay, Biggie, keep going. Like, you're not picking a point. You're not talking about nothing. Like, why do you not like this girl? And Rolly's just like, if y'all start throwing these balls, like, I'm gonna be on the floor. Like, y'all not about to hit me in the head with these heavy balls. They start kind of going back and forth about, so Stunna's basically like, Biggie, you snuck me while the producers were there. Biggie's like, we were face to face. There wasn't sneaking. I do think, even if they're facing each other, I think if you hit somebody off guard like that, or they're like turned away talking to somebody, even if y'all are standing right in front of me, 2 feet apart from each other, I do think that it's still sneaking. I don't know. I don't think she knew that. I don't think Stunna knew that a fight was coming, and I think it was still sneaking, and I'm going to just stick with that. So then Krishan starts being like, Razor, can you talk to her? Y'all got something in common. Y'all both fought Stunna. And then she starts being like, and Krishan starts being like, Biggie, I'm going to send your ass home like she a producer. And she's like, are you not trying to kumbaya? And I was just like, Krishan, shut up. Like, why are you trying to mediate of all people? You was probably just fighting your man. Like, why are you trying to mediate of all people? Like, girl, you didn't even know what mediate means to mediate. So then Stunna started being like, I'm with it. She's like, what it do? You know I'm with it. What it do? Like, I want to fight both of y'all. She was talking to Tommy. So she was like, we can run it back to back. I want to fight both of y'all. It's up with both of y'all. And Tommy was just like, let's leave it at that. And that's where the episode stops. They get into the next episode a little bit, but what did you guys think of this episode? I thought the fight at the dinner was going to be between, I don't know, actually. I just kind of figured everybody had everything resolved. So I was shocked to see that even Tommy was brought into it at the end of it. But I'm excited for next week. I'll see y'all. Bye.